You ready?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't really believe you. It doesn't really sound like you're ready. It sounds like you're still marinating on the goodness and the blessedness of what you just heard. That's what you're doing, right? It almost feels strange to transition into this thing about fear and, stuff after, come on now, what did y'all set me up? Okay, so we're continuing this conversation about rebellion and kinship, and right, like we're still talking about that. And today specifically, well, first of all, who was here last week? What did I talk about last week? Which of those three did I talk about specifically last week? Star Wars, and rebellion, right. So today, what is it today? DUNE, yes. Anybody here who has not seen DUNE? Okay, there's a couple of you. Okay, so that's homework, number one, but you'll get the reference. So let's start with, today's title is, I Must Not Fear. Now, the reason I brought that up was, for those who saw DUNE, you will remember when Paul Atreides is forced to stand before the Reverend Mother and place his hand in the box. You remember this? Yes. And she holds a gom jabbar, which is a poison needle, at his throat, and tells him, if you remove your hand, you will die. And the concept is, you put your hand in the box, you have no idea what's in the box, other than excruciating pain. Pain like you have never experienced before. And so the temptation is, ow, right? Like that temptation is, there's hot, move. There's pain, move. But the thing is, in this concept from the Reverend Mothers, if you respond that way from fear, you're an animal. And as an animal, you should be put down. Which is already the taboo, because Paul should never have been born in the first place. Lady Jessica, like they were supposed to have a girl, and Lady Jessica said, you don't get to tell me what I'm going to do. So she had a boy anyway, so the Reverend Mother's already mad. So the hand goes in, gom jabbar at neck. And as she's waiting, because she's expecting him to pull it out, you see, depending on which version of the movie you saw and in the book nonetheless, you see Paul's mother, the Lady Jessica, outside the room, frantically, okay, I trained him, I taught him. And then she starts reciting, and I'm going to read it specifically because I do not want to mess it up. I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me and through me. And when it has gone past, I will turn to the inner eye to see its path. Where the fear has gone, there will be nothing. Only I will remain. Breathe. So today's title was what? I Must Not Fear. Is it all right if I remix that now? Yes. Okay, y'all a little quiet to me, but okay, Jesse said, yeah, go for it. So I'm taking it, Jesse said do it, so I'm doing it. So rather than I must not fear, I must not let fear control me. Yeah. Yes. That's the thing. Fear is normal and natural. How many of us know acronyms for fear, such as false, appearing, give me another one, face everything, and run or rise or recover. There are various versions. I'm giving you a new one right now. Are you ready? F-E-A-R. F, face it. E, evaluate it. A, assess it. R, respond to it accordingly. See, some fears, snake, if it's really there, run from it. Once it starts going, that is not an invitation for tea. Flee, right? However, the problem is with this thing called fear is 90-ish% of the things that we fear, we are making up. Imagine this for a second. I go up into the mountains, and there in the mountains, I run across Senor Scorpion. I am terrified, for he is chasing me. Get away, run, get away. get away, and he is gaining on me. No, leave me be, for dost thou not know? Ah. And then finally I get away. I got away. And I've come down here, right? And I bump into Jody, and Jody says, Ray, why you look so panicky? And I'm like, Jody, you don't understand. Scorpion. Ooh. And she says, when did that happen? 8 hours ago. Why are you still all up in that then? Scorpion! Yeah, I got that, but... And then 3 days later, I run into Gil. And Gil says, hey, Ray, how you doing? I'm like, Scorpion! It's like, wait a minute, Jody told me like a couple of days ago, dude, why are you... Scorpion! See, we carry the fear with us even though there's nothing to fear. In this moment right now, there is no scorpion, there is no rattlesnake, there is no death, there is no anything. In this moment right now, it's peace, there's joy, there's love, there's a lot of looking at me like I'm strange, which I'm used to. There's a lot of that, and it's cool. Cool. But we're at fear. But guaranteed, the moment we start going through the Rolodex of the mind, let me see, oh, bills. Ooh. Finances, politics, good Lord, what is all of this? I have chapters and chapters and chapters and pages of all the things that I could fear. Past traumas that I carry with me in my little knapsack that every now and then, once in a while, you start to feel too good and it's like, be afraid of, and then you recite, boogeyman, And then you go a couple of days and things are cool, you're happy, you're jolly, things are good, and then I gotta pull another one out of the bag. I can't be too happy. I gotta have that fear going on. But it's made up fear. We are constructing it. Right? Like even with the finances, like let's really go there. I don't have enough money to pay for rent. So I'm afraid. Afraid of what? Afraid of being unhoused. Okay, what's the worst thing that could happen to you? I have no house. Yes, but many are surviving that way, so what is there to fear? Well, and if we break it down and we break it down and we break it down all the way till we get to, ultimately, I am afraid of being unhoused because I may freeze to death, I may be hungry, I may die. Okay, so then you're afraid, finances, lack of, death. That's what it is. And see, it's not about money. I need to be in the house. Meow, 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 meow. How did I get the Henrietta Pussycat? Anyhow, meow, 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 meow. Whatever that is, it's not that. It's this. This we can address. Because even within New Thought, if we were to say, Reverend Ray, I'm afraid to die. Okay, but what do we teach within religious science? Science of mind and spirit, New Thought. That death is not the end. So let's have a conversation and prayer and meditation regarding that. Because even that is, am I holding on to an old idea, an old paradigm of what I was taught about death? And trust and believe, I'm going to share something with you all. So recently, my sister and I were in a car accident. And there's a lot of trauma and stuff that comes with the anxiety of car accident and stuff. So my primary care physician sent me to a psychiatrist to give me anti-anxiety medication. I never met this man before, so he needed to talk to me to find out, do I need to prescribe anything else? Does he need some, because I don't know, he does voices and thinks he's Henrietta Pussycat. I might need to give him something else. So, you have conversation. And in conversation, this therapist finds out that I have experienced, for those of you who were here last week, name a kind of trauma, and I have probably in some way, shape, or form experienced it, or at least tipped my toe in it, at least. So the therapist says, you shouldn't be alive. Like, this amount of trauma, you should be sitting in a corner with your thumb in your mouth, twiddling your ear. Like, you shouldn't be functioning. But in our conversations, one of the things that came up was that I am experiencing thanatophobia. You know what that is? Fear of death. It's an irrational, unreasonable fear of death. So then we talk about it, because I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this? I'm like, where and how? So when I was 4 or 5-ish, I saw my first dead body. By the time I was 10, I had seen my 300th. Fast forward to the age I am now, I have been to in the thousands of wakes, funerals, viewings, thousands. I was actually in the thousands by the time I graduated from high school. My father was diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease when I was 8. For anyone who knows Lou Gehrig's disease, it's a horrible experience and you're expected 2 to 4 years. And my father ended up outliving 3 of his doctors who diagnosed him with this. And he ended up transitioning from something altogether different. But this thing laid seeds within me. And I didn't even know that this fear was there driving so many things of my life. And so even now, when something comes up and I notice and it's like, ooh, I have to check in. In what way does this tie to the fear of death? And then I have to get to, are you really afraid of death? Well, no, because I know what I believe now. So when you feel it, what are you really afraid of? I'm afraid of all of the years when I was a fundamentalist Christian and they kept saying, damnation, fire, hell, and Lucifer. Remember that scorpion? Scorpion, and it's going to be, oh, Lucifer, the devil, That's what it's going to be. And I was terrified, and every now and then it resurfaces. It resurfaces like the boogeyman knocking on the closet door when I'm laying down comfortable, ready to go, and I'm already snoring, and then there's the knock, knock, knock. Who is it? It's the boogeyman. I'm here to wake you up. Just, could you leave me alone? No. Why can't you leave me alone? There's a movie a long time ago, I don't remember what the movie is, so it's not homework assignment, but at the beginning of the movie, it had a quote, and it said, "You cannot hide from your fears. They are a part of you, and always know where you are hiding." You said, what now? Wait, what? What? When we let the stuff sink in and become part of us, we can't hide from ourselves. And when we believe that the thing that we fear is us, like we're invested in it, then wherever we go, it goes. So the fear of finances, even if you were given $1 million right now, if that isn't addressed, it's going to cause you to burn through. We already know. How many times have we heard Powerball, Mega Million winners, and money gone, and they're in more debt after than before. Why? Because this fear went with them. So, Reverend Ray, you ain't got but 7 minutes left. What are we supposed to do? Tell us what to do. 2 more quotes from DUNE. 1, the mystery of life isn't a problem to solve, but a reality to experience. So focus on what is the experience that you desire to experience. I'm in a car. I invite Rodney in the car with me. And as soon as I put the car in drive, I start doing this. What is Rodney going to say? Ray, you too good. Yeah. We ain't going in reverse. It's a D. It's not an alt. Ray, yeah, I'm driving, but what are you looking at? Let me out now, right? Many of us think we are driving, think we are moving forward, but we are gazing behind us at the trauma, at the pain, at the stuff. So our invitation is, what do I want to experience? Happiness, joy, love, orgasmic bliss? What do I want to experience? Get very clear on that. And once we're clear on that, it's far easier to then, what are the steps to experience it? Anybody in here speak Japanese? Anybody in here familiar with Japanese? Okay, so I'm going to say a word. If I were to say, excuse me, sir, what's your name? Brian. If I said, Brian, I'm going to give you $10 million if you can go to the store, any store, wherever you choose to go, and this time tomorrow, bring me a Tengu back. But the thing is, you cannot Google it, you can't talk to Siri, you cannot meet with Alexa. It just has to be based on your knowledge and your awareness. Do you believe? Did I just wake Alexa up? Ain't that funny? What do you want, Ray? Do you believe that you would be able to successfully bring me a Tengu back? Probably not, because like what? I need reference. Many of us are walking around about happiness the same way. We use the word, we don't know what it means. We don't know what it looks like for us. Joy, peace, wonderment. We know the words, we sing the songs, but when it's time to describe it, and I mean describe it with such specificity that if I said, go to the store and bring me a watermelon, bring me a cantaloupe, bring me a banana, bring me a Granny Smith apple, you are far more likely to be able to do that. Because it's specificity versus if I said, could you do me a favor and go to the store and bring me some fruit? Well, Ray, right? And your name is? Susan Erico. So if I said, Susan Erico comes back and she brings me a banana and I say, I'm allergic to bananas. And she said, well, you said fruit. This is fruit. You should have been more specific. So we do the same thing with happiness and joy and all these things. We really don't know. We know here, but not here. Without change, something inside sleeps and seldom awakens. The sleeper must awaken. Something inside us sleeps. What did the one song say? And I'm not even going to attempt because y'all ain't going to kick me out. And I find, starts with a G. I find God. Then I find myself. Right? Pythagoras said, when you know both the universe and God, when you know yourself, you know that as well. When you know yourself, you know both the universe and God. Why? Because there's only one. Do we know ourselves well enough to know what's driving us? What motivates us each morning to get up and do what we do? What motivates us to say or see an injustice and say, I have to be good trouble and stand? I can't witness it. I can't be a part of. What inside us, what about us says, this is my beloved community, and when we get together, it's like, I don't trust them to the degree that, okay, what is that about? Because if we're going to gather in community, then we have to gather in community in the way that the suffragists gathered. And if one was knocked over, the others surrounded her. In the way that in the civil rights movement, when bricks were flying and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. got hit in the head with a brick, everyone else surrounded him. The rabbis, the Orthodox Christians, they surrounded him so that he wasn't struck. Are we willing to stand in and protect and care for and love our family? Because even the stranger, as Richard Bach says, strangers are simply family members you have not met yet. If there is only God, then every single person in here is an individualized expression of it. And so the moment I say, but I don't trust that expression, well, do I have reason to? She brought me a banana and I'm allergic. But did she know that you were allergic? No. So why are you blaming her for responding in a way where she wasn't aware? Oh, I do that a lot, don't I? Yes, we judge and criticize others for not always, but often made up reasons. For example, as my time gets ready, click down. Raise your hand. Now, I don't want to ask the question. Not too long ago, I was counseling, mentoring someone. And a gentleman from Germany with a tiny little Charlie Chaplin mustache came up in conversation. And the person went on about how much they hate this person. We all know who I'm talking about, right? Right. Okay. How much they hate this person. And so I'm listening to them go on about how much and why. And then I say, how old are you? Because I didn't realize you were that old. They're like, what do you mean? I was like, well, clearly you've met him, right? They're like, what? No. So wait a minute. So you've never met the person, but you hate them. Well, yes. No, you don't. You hate what you've been told about him. You hate what you learned that he did. You hate that. Separate that from the person, number one. Because when you can separate that from the person, then you're very clear on this behavior is unacceptable. Because I guarantee you, if that individual did not engage in this and used his powers and talents and voice to change the world in great, grand, and glorious ways that fed people and housed people and brought unity, he would have got a Nobel Peace Prize for it, and we would remember the name and love him for it, but we don't. He would be marked up there with Gandhi, but he isn't, because he used the one power and the one presence and the one mind to do very despicable and heinous things. When we anchor and ground and are able to identify, it's not the person, it's their behavior. What am I afraid of? It's not this thing, it's this. And we are able to identify it, then we are far more able to treat it. If you go to the doctor and the doctor says, I used this example the other day in the workshop, and the doctor says, so what's bothering you today, Lois? And Lois says, it's my hip. And the doctor walks over and says, so let me see what exactly, well, your hip looks fine to me. No, that's my ear. Oh, you said your ear is bothering you. Let me see what's going on. You know what? I've got a dentist appointment. I'm going to leave. You have to identify, where is the pain? What's going on that's causing the pain, wherever it may be, and then treat it accordingly. We have to do the same thing with fear and racism and sexism and homomisia and transmisia and Islamomisia and all of the things, all of the ways that hatred and fear show up. We are invited to be meta-physicians. Bring out the metaphysical CAT scan and x-rays and look through the mind and the body and the behavior and find out what is actually fractured. And then do what we are invited to do to bring it back into a space of harmony so that it can mend and become stronger by letting this person now know you're a divine expression of God, rather than you're my enemy and I hate you and I want you to have the magic middle finger. That's not going to save the world. But our awareness, was laughed at me, but our awareness of what's really going on is our invitation. So your homework assignment, sit down, identify things that you are afraid of, face it, evaluate it. Is this something legitimate? Am I legitimately afraid of something there's a bear, run, or is the bear in my mind? Evaluate it. Assess. Threat level, currently, Captain, is a 0. Thank you, Scotty. Currently, Captain, the threat level is a red alert, red alert. It's a 10. And then once you know what's what, respond accordingly. Either flee, fight, free. Right, like do whatever it is the right thing to do. But go there, practice it, and transform. Namaste.